to come. From 9, the Radio 1 comedy shows. From 8, it's Rob da Bank. Right now, the evening session.
BBC Radio 1 Vintage.
Hello, this is Mark Goodyear. We started in the early 90s on the evening session, and what we devised was a show that was not afraid of popular artists, but always wanted to play new music. So we would have no problem playing a new Madonna record, but we'd also really go for anything that we thought was groundbreaking or interesting or would be popular if it got airplay. And principally a music show, and our only judgment was, is this good? If we play it, will it make a difference? Then we should. And I think it was my best, most favourite ever time in radio. For British music in the 90s, it was an amazing time. It was also an amazing time for grunge and alternative music in general. We were pretty early and first on some of the acts that have gone on to be really iconic, like, Radiohead and Blur in Session. We were very big supporters of Teenage Fan Club, continued supporters of Happy Mondays and that kind of, black grape thing that came out of that. I remember being really astounded when Tony Wilson, Factory Records legend, told me that I was the first person to play Happy Mondays on the radio. I couldn't believe that. I couldn't believe that Peel hadn't played Happy Mondays first. I think there was definitely a thrill to knowing that these acts were great, and then them doing a session and a fire being lit for many of them, not all of them, but enough of them that you would, that many of those artists are still around today. I remember interviewing not Kurt Cobain but Chris Novoselic, and he was amazing, really. Just such a down-to-earth kind of normal chap in this band at that point were literally, breaking all barriers.
By the time we got home, it went gold, and now it's way over platinum. It's like a phenomenon, really. We didn't really try or anything.
We were broad, though, We did have, we had all of U2 on.
They just call it, built-in obsolescence. Burn out some rock and roll star, find another one.
Doing those big things for Radio 1, which, and Radio 1 has subsequently still done U2 because that's so groundbreaking, I think that was a lot of fun to do. But I think it worked. I think it worked better with Steve and Joe because it went back to being a music fan, curator, more specialist kind of intent.
I'm Steve Lamacq.
I'm Jo Whiley.
And you're listening to Radio 1 Vintage.
Jeff Smith, I think, was the one who orchestrated us being at Radio 1 to do the evening session. And we were both doing very different things. I was working on The Word. I was booking bands for The Words, the likes of Nirvana. And I don't know how he really knew about me, but I got a call to come in to do a bit of a trial. And Steve, what were you doing?
I was working part-time freelance at Select magazine, but I'd been pestering Jeff ever since the evening session first started when I took him out for a pint and said, if you need any help, anything at all, any information, anyone, I'll make the tea, that sort of thing.
And we got a call, and the idea was they were going to try us out, and there were four contenders, me and Steve, and then there was Claire Sturgis and Richard Easter. And did we do one night each?
No, we did a week each.
Did we?
Yeah, we did a whole week each, and at the end of that we got summoned by Matthew Bannister to his office, and he said, well, I'd just like to thank you very much for the work you've been doing. And of course this felt like the axe about to fall, and we would be shown out the building by security, and he said, yeah, I'd just like to thank you for the work you've been doing, and would like you to carry on. I remember we walked out of Matthew's office in Broadcasting House, we walked to the lift, and just as the lift doors closed, the lift arrived, we got in the lift, and we just hugged each other and jumped up and down for the entire duration of the lift journey down to the ground floor.
Because it was such an unbelievable opportunity, wasn't
Amazing.
it? It was like that kind of thing doesn't happen to people like us.
No. It's outrageous that Matthew was going to give these two Herberts a chance on air. I mean, I have so much to thank him for, but that gamble, I think, well, I hope he thinks, and I hope people think it sort of paid off in the end.
The hot dog dance, that's great, isn't it? Beck, and it's the choice of Graham Coxon from Blur, who's with us in the evening session studios.
From that point on, we were just so lucky. We had so many incredible bands coming in and playing live for us, doing sessions, doing interviews, bands that are still enduring today. We had a lot of other bands who were absolutely terrible, that we at the time believed were the future of music, but, they obviously proved not to be.
It was a great moment because when you think we did our trial, and I think we started properly around October 1993. Just before the end of 94, the Oasis demo arrives of Columbia. They're booked in session just before Christmas. So we start 94 with Oasis in session. And obviously through that year, the whole Britpop phenomena really takes off.
Oasis on the evening session, playing live. That was better than that version at the Albert Hall you did.
Hey now, don't start.
Are you enjoying being in Oasis then?
And all the bands came through our show pretty much. And I think the one thing which we were very good at the time was identifying important records and making a really big deal out of them.
To hear the full interview, download the podcast at bbc.co.uk/Radio 1 Vintage.
BBC Radio 1.
The evening session.
Radio 1.
Vintage.
Here, that was Ride and Leave Them All Behind, which is number 9 in the chart. And before that, what did we play before that? Weirdo, new record by the Charlatans. And things do change in music. Let's talk about let's talk about rock. Really, I mean, if you can imagine that. Well, it started about rock. It started in 1950 something, say. When it started, it was young, it was rebellious, it was dangerous. And, lots of the old stars are still, making music, and a lot of them are still quite popular. But sadly far from dangerous. Is that...
Well, the whole idea of dangerous, I mean, that's the problem. I mean, this idea of dangerous is still rooted in the 60s idea of what's dangerous. What was dangerous back then is not dangerous now. Listen, man, the whole thing, the whole self-destruct thing, the whole sex and drugs and rock and roll, that's playing into the hands of the corporations. I mean, they just call it, built-in obsolescence. Burn out some rock and roll star, find another one. That's all bullshit. Rebellion is a much more sophisticated thing now. To be subversive is not to sort of smash up your hotel room. Your record company would be very happy about that. If I just wanted to piss in a BBC cup here, that would be very good for records. That is not dangerous or rebellious. I cannot believe that people still fall for the old shite. Rock and roll, and it's very easy. No, it is so easy. But even I can't believe that people are still plugged into that idea of rebellion. It's the things of the spirit is what really rebellious. That's what actually puts people's nose out of joint right now. Not sex. Sex is the corporations own that. Sells,
everything.
Pepsi, sells Coca-Cola. It sells everything. That's so. We're shocked so easily. It's sad.
Does having the Fly on release for 3 weeks only also qualify as being rebellious as well, or being whatever?
Yeah, man, whatever it takes to get that bastard to number one.
Yeah, it was a really good idea, wasn't it?
I just think it's a cool thing to get away, and that's our job. Really, I mean that. That's our job, to abuse our position to get stuff on the radio that wouldn't normally get on the radio. We've had some help, and we're very pleased with it, and it is cool. And that you're playing, and all the people, Simon May or whatever, who are playing our records, we don't expect to get played at 7:30 a.m. And the fact that we are, I think, is good, not just for U2, which it's very good for, but it's very good for the BBC, because they don't look as asleep as they might do.
Well, you promised to clog up the airways last time you were here, so
there you go.
You've done it. You've done it slightly. We played a game in the office actually, trying to name another band who've been together for 14 years with the same lineup on the same record label, and we couldn't really think of very many. In fact, if any, I mean, the bond that you started you there is obviously still there.
We signed a 20-year contract with that.
Yeah, right.
It's a really shit deal.
But are you happy to do this for another 14 years? Is there another 14 years?
As long as the records keep getting better, we'll keep together. As soon as they get worse, I'm off.
Evening Session on 1FM. A record we've been playing a lot is the Nirvana album, and of course Smells Like Teen Spirit. And Chris is here from the band. Nice to see you.
Thank you.
Welcome to the UK, and you've been going down a storm on this second leg of the tour. It's great to have a bit of real edge and rawness in the UK top 10.
Yeah, it's totally wild. We left on tour like about September 18th, and the record came out on September 24th, and by the time we got home it went gold, and now it's way over platinum. It's like a phenomenon, really. We didn't really try or anything. The record company originally shipped around 50,000 copies.
I know, I heard this story, and it's just one of those remarkable things. But, you know, when we read that, you've signed from Sub Pop onto, Geffen, you think, well, Geffen are going to go welly and, do the big splash, but they didn't do that.
No, it was very organic. Word of mouth thing.
People shouldn't forget that you're a band who've been together for a long time. Of course, you had an album out before Nevermind.
We've been together since 1987.
And I think that's very important, because it means you probably still have many more songs. Old songs, presumably.
We've got some old songs, and a lot of songs you just kind of throw away, and a lot of songs you find on a bootleg record. We're pretty prolific, not like, terribly prolific, but enough to where there's always a new song that we're kicking around, experimenting with.
You've been very supportive of British bands, and that's a nice thing to see, because I suppose from a person who's a fan of international music, but obviously support a lot of British bands on this show. Whilst we're very pleased with your success, we also wish there were some British bands who were being as successful as you are, maybe like Swerve Driver or Teenage Fan Club, having big hits.
Oh, we love Teenage Fan Club.
The bands that you've been supportive of include Fan Club and also Captain America.
Captain America,
so
right.
How did you come across a band like Captain America from Glasgow? It's miles away from where you are.
We've been Vaseline's fans for years, and Eugene and James were in the Vaselines, and they started this band, Captain America, and Eugene gave us a tape, and we thought it was just brilliant. Come along on tour with us,
But there are going to be people here who are going to want to know when the next record's going to be out. We're talking about album record. Will it be?
Tentatively, we haven't really discussed this. We've discussed it, but next fall, winter.
Yeah.
So there's not going to be a big gap like there was between the other records. There's songs we're kicking around, and we want the time off to screw around, write some songs,
have fun,
do our own personal
go and
thing.
see other bands.
Yeah.
It's been very good to talk with you.
Okay.
And hopefully we'll talk with all three next time you come into the UK, which I hope will be not before too long.
Right on.
Thanks for your time.
Okay.
Load up on guns, bring And I forget just what it is. So yeah, I guess it makes me smile. I found it hard. It's hard to find a well, whatever, never
Hi, I'm Jo Wiley.
I'm Steve Lamacq.
And this is Radio 1 Vintage.
Still to come.
Graham Coxon from Blur, who's with us in the Evening Session studios. You've bought a car, haven't you?
Yeah, I've got a car. This is my new kind of obsession with all things big and American.
This actually could be true or false, right? The Blue Tones, then, were discovered when they answered an ad in Melody Maker and they sent in a tape.
Oh, you calm down you over there, right? Because I've got some bit, right? Any of them old farts who've got a problem with me, right? Leave the Zimmer frames at home and I will hold them up with a good write-up, yeah, and that's the end of it.
Vintage. 1FM's Evening Session, and playing live on the show tonight we have Oasis. Welcome them in the studio now. Liam, Noel and Paul, welcome. What are you going to do for us first of all?
It's called Living Forever.
Maybe I don't really want to know how your garden grows, 'cause I just want to fly. Lately, did you ever feel the pain in the morning rain as it soaks you to the bone? Maybe I just want to fly, want to live but don't want to die. Maybe I just want to breathe, maybe I just don't believe. Maybe you're the same as me, we see things I'll never see. You and I gonna live forever. I said maybe I don't really want to know how your garden grows, 'cause I just want to fly. Lately, did you ever feel the pain in the morning rain as it soaks you to the bone? Maybe I will never be all the things that I want to be. Now is not the time to cry, now's the time to find out why. I think you're the same as me, we see things I'll never see. You and I gonna live forever. I don't really want to know how your garden grows, 'cause I just want to fly. Lately, did you ever feel the pain in the the morning rain as it soaks you to the bone. Maybe I just wanna fly, wanna live, I don't wanna die. Maybe I just wanna breathe, maybe I just don't believe. Maybe you're the same as me, we see things I'll never see. You and I are gonna live forever, gonna live forever, gonna live forever. We're gonna live forever. We're gonna live forever. We're gonna live forever. We're gonna live forever.
Oasis on the evening session, playing live. That was better than that version at the Albert Hall you did.
Hey now, don't start.
Are you enjoying being in Oasis then?
Absolutely.
Do you love all the interviews that you have to go through?
No, not all the time, no, because you end up being like a record player and that, and you end up saying all the same things.
Do you find it really hard?
Yeah.
Is that why when you do interviews and you do it together, because I really love reading the interviews that you do because they're really funny because you're always arguing through them, but do you kind of ham it up quite a bit?
We pork it up, we never ham it up, do we?
The vegetarian.
Oh, it's all an act. It's all an act for the benefit of the enemy. We actually love each other.
You still love your mum? Is your mum still a big fan?
Oh, mad for it, my mum.
Your
Rock
mum?
and roll, my
Has
mum.
she told you off lately?
She told me off yesterday for coming back.
He moved out of my mum's house and he's sort of like not left yet. Oh yeah.
No.
She keeps telling him off for coming back with his dirty washing.
Do you like the reputation that you've got?
Yeah, I think it's great.
Liam likes his reputation.
Yeah, I do.
Well, that's a big one.
You only got one finger left, and it's pointing at the door. And you're taking for granted what the Lord's laid on the floor. So I'm picking up the pieces, and I'm putting them up for sale. Throw your meal ticket out the window, put your skeletons in jail. 'Cause Lord only knows it's getting late. Your senses are gone, so don't you hesitate to give yourself a call. Let your bottom dollars fall. Throwing your two big cares down the drain. Invite me to the seven seas, like some seasick man. You'll do whatever you please, and I'll do whatever I can. Titanic, fare thee well. My eyes are turning pink. Don't call us when the new age gets old enough to drink.
Hot Dog Dance. That's great, isn't it? Beck, and it's Joyce Graham Coxon from Blur, who's with us in the evening session studios tonight. And since giving up drinking as well, not entirely, obviously, you've bought a car, haven't you?
Yeah, I've got a car. This is my new kind of obsession with all things big and American. Yeah, it's kind of like a Ford Bronco. It's the actual one that O.J. Simpson got chased in LA. No, it's not actually. But no, it's I bought it in Hillingdon. But it's American and everything. And I like to put like country music in and drive around.
You cruise?
Yeah, cover myself in axle grease, stuff like that.
And cruise. There you go. Some more questions.
Yeah, we should do some questions.
Phones.
A lot of people are obviously wanting to know what you think of various bands like Cooler Shaker. Cooler Shaker.
Yeah. No.
What about Noasis? Hang on. Emily and Harrow said, what do you think of Noasis?
I don't know. I don't think they're a band, are they, really?
I think they think they are.
Yeah, but I think that's pretty sad, isn't it?
Is there an equivalent for Blur?
Blur-asis?
Bootleg Blur or anything like that?
Yeah, I think there is a sort of a Blur covers band, but...
Really?
Yeah.
Have you seen the person that's supposed to be... Is that your stomach?
It's this vegetable extract in the Coca-Cola.
You could sample that, put it on the next record.
I could.
To be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, another one. Kira O'Brien from Cambridge. What have you got in your pockets at the moment? Empty your pockets.
My wallet.
Okay, it's got a chain. Is your key attached to your chain?
No, my wallet's attached.
Oh my God.
This is my wallet.
Okay, how much money have you got?
How much money have I got? £40 in there.
Okay. Photos? Do you carry photos around with you?
There's a photo of me which I made into half me, half Japanese girl, which is...
Let's have a look.
It's me with sort of long hair.
Very attractive.
It is.
And you hand this out to people, do you? In the street?
Yeah.
Okay,
It's
with
my
the telephone
publicity
number on
shot.
side. All right, okay.
Yeah. And in my other pocket, I've got my kind of yuppie things, like I've got a mobile phone now. And I've got that in that pocket, and cigarettes.
Is there why do you carry a mobile phone? Is it just because people need to get hold of you urgently or something? Or are there, in fact, close personal friends who you talk to every...
Yeah,
you know?
I don't really give my number out to everyone, so when it rings, it's really exciting, mostly.
Right. Where's the most embarrassing place it's rung, though? Don't you find that?
I was hoping that, like, something like I'd bring it in here and my mum would ring, and I'd put the mouthpiece of the microphone and say hello. Say hello,
So Graham's mum, if you're out there, you can phone him.
City dweller, successful fella, thought to himself, oops, I've got a lot of money. Caught in a rat race, terminally. I'm a professional cynic, but my heart's not in it. I'm paying the price of living life at the limit. Caught up in the centuries, anxiety. Yes, it preys on him. It's getting bad, trying to simple. Lives in a house, very big house in the country. Watching afternoon repeats and the food he eats in the country. He takes a manner of pills and piles up analyst bills in the country. Oh, it's like an animal farm, that's a rural charm in the country. He's got morning glory and life's a different story. Everything's going Jack and Jory in touch with his own mortality. He's reading Balzac, looking bad prose. It's a helping hand that makes you feel relative bland. Oh, it's a century's remedy for the things at heart. Star tricycle lives in a house, a very big house in the country. He's got a fog in his chest, so he needs a lot of rest in the country. He doesn't drink, smoke, laugh, takes herbal baths in the country. Fish come to no harm on the animal farm in the country. In the country. In the country. In the country.
to come. From 8, it's Rob da Bank.
Indeed, we are at the mecca of all things hippie and hairy, which suits me and Chris right down to the ground.
Stupid bass lines and the song geezer going, I'm going to be your... Wee! You know, everyone goes, wee.
That was really good editing.
It was nice, huh?
You haven't got me kicked off Radio 1.
Yeah, I know.
Welcome to the Early Morning Dub Appreciation Society on Radio 1.
Radio 1.
Vintage.
Voted their session for this show, your favourite evening session of last year, so we're going to repeat that on the show next week. And that is the new single, though, from Supergrass. It's their first new material since the LP I Should Coco went to #1 in the charts and earned itself a gold disc as well. It's Supergrass, it's forthcoming, and it's exclusive to this show, and it's called Going Out.
Away. time. You want it or need it, you take mine. It's yours to bend or break. It's yours to unfold. It's yours to turn away. It's yours to
this new game going on the evening session at the moment that every time we play a track we have to tell each other a story about that particular band that we just played. That was Snuff from the new LP, which is called Demo Must Be Bonk, and a track called Who. And okay, this is my Snuff story. Snuff, this is how they got their name. They were sitting in a pub. They got there very, very early, got there at 6 o'clock, and they said, we're not leaving the pub until we get a name. And it got to last orders, the bell rang, and one of them collapsed on the table just with his head in his hands and said, that's enough. And the bloke went, that's it, Snuff.
Hey, this actually could be true or false, right? The Blue Tones, then, were discovered when they answered an ad in Melody Maker and they sent in a tape. And that's how the Blue Tones were discovered. True or false?
True.
False.
Oh.
Blue Tones in session.
Thank you, Neil.
Thank you very much.
Radio on the evening session for a Thursday night, and we welcome our guests into the studio. We have Noel and Liam Gallagher with us, and this is the first time, Noel, you were saying you've been interviewed together since, 1994?
1964, yeah. Was that before I left the Beatles?
It was before I was born.
Was that before you joined the Beatles?
And you've been away in America.
Yes.
When did you get back from there?
We got back about 10 days ago, and then we went to the studio to do some B-sides, and came out of the studio on Monday.
And we had a lot of flashbacks.
So it's B-sides for all around the world?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. We've actually done a cover of Street Fighting Man, just to piss Keith Richards off, because he's been slagging us off.
Have you?
Just to make just to make them more money than what they've already got.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Obviously, they ain't got enough.
I was going to say, I mean, because they're very. Do you have to clear something like that before you can actually do it?
No, as long as you don't change the arrangement, you don't need permission.
I'm like,
they had quite a run-in with the Verve, didn't they?
Yeah, and they're going to have a run-in with me when I meet him, man, down Sainsbury's.
I think it was Andrew Luke Oldham who had a run-in with the Verve about that.
Right.
But can I interrupt on, like, we're here, like, to...
Oh, you interrupt away.
We're here to celebrate, like, bonfire night and stuff like that, but... Because I'm silly, aren't I, George? I'm like, but things, you know...
Not before Halloween, you can't celebrate bonfire night.
All these slags coming out of the closets and that at the moment, right, before we're going to... I'm going to shut my mouth after this then, right?
I bet you... I bet you won't.
John's been a bit rude in the past, hasn't he? So I'm going to have to point... Look at him there, slipping in the glass.
All that says you won't shut your mouth after this.
Right,
that's about...
I will. But all these old...
That's like 85 quid. And a platinum cat. Yeah,
no, I've got my own, man. Listen. But anyway, listen, right, before I go any further, all these old farts, right, like, get out of the day centre, like, yeah,
give me the money.
And, like, a microphone comes in, you know, you've got a problem with a kid, right, yeah.
Problem?
Yeah. A problem with a kid, right, or Oasis, right, yeah. Obviously, like, yeah, and I ignored all that facts, right, yeah, because I dig all the music, I dig them as personal human beings, right, yeah, but at the end of the day, no, you shut up a minute, right, songwriter, at the end of the day, right, obviously they almost want a scrap, right, and I will offer them all right out here on radio, right, yeah, if they want to fight, right, Primrose Hill, Saturday morning, 12 o'clock, I will beat their daylight shit out of him, right? I'll still give him a steak pie at the end of it, right?
So to answer your question, yes, we have been to America.
That goes for George, right? Jagger, Smitchards, right? Yeah, and the other whoever who gives me shit. No, you calm down, you over there, right? Because I've got some bit, right? Any of them old farts who've got a problem with me, right? Leave the Zimmer frames at home, and I will hold them up with a good right up, yeah, and that's the end of it.
Who's the person who's most hurt you out of those?
Oh, gotta be Jesus Christ, isn't it? But no one's hurt me, right, because I still dig their music, right? I love George Harrison's music, I love Keith Richards' music, I love Mick Jagger's music, right? I love who else wants to slag me off and all that type of, but at the end of the day, it's getting childish, isn't it? It's like being in the playground. I left the playground years ago. Now they want to push them out on the swings and that, and I'll push them in them little, I'll put them in them little swings. No, I just want to fight with them, me.
But do you think they say these things because they're goaded into saying them?
I think they're jealous, and I think they're senile, and I think getting enough meat pies and that. Yeah.
But does it bother you? Because, I mean, you're bigger than that, aren't you?
I'm bigger than everything, me. I'm me, and personally, I'm bigger than that. But, like, obviously, they want a scrap. And I will beat them up if they want to fight.
And the venue is Primrose Hill.
Shut up!
What, man?
Shut up. I told you I was going to say that.
Next question.
Did you enjoy getting back to this tour? Because, obviously, after getting to the stage of playing Nebworth and places like that, in comparative terms, this was it's actually quite an intimate gig for you.
It was really nice and tight fit, you know. It was, like, nice, you know. We loved playing, you know. It was great. All them gigs were great.
And,
like...
Yeah, but even though, Stephen, it's like Nebworth was no big deal for us. It's like, it was like...
We'll never get the vibes of reap the benefits of Nebworth, because, like, that'll come when we're about 80 and spitting in our knickers, you know what I mean? Because that was, like, big time.
Sorry,
finish. Like, the thing is, right, it's like, that is like something that doesn't come to a bunch of lads from Manchester who just played, you know, like, we wanted to play like 31,000 people off the Spike Islands, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like, Nebworth was like a big bang, you know what I mean? And I'm still there, basically.
What did the bomb go off or something?
You know, I'm still there, and that's big time, right?
Did it take you quite a long time for it to sink in?
I've not sunk in yet.
Still?
Yeah, I'm still on that.
Would you do anything comparable to that again?
No.
I reckon if someone played 126,000 one night, then I reckon I'd have to go back and do 127.
Yeah.
Well, take it from me. I won't be doing it.
Okay.
All right.
Well, not about you. He asked me the question, man. We're talking about people inspiring you. Do you find that each other, you inspire each other, you spark off, you still do
Well,
it?
no one inspires me. I don't know if I inspired him.
Yes, he does. He knows it, he does.
Oh, cheers. Gee, thanks.
He knows that he does.
That means I can sit you on the shoulder for a couple of quid.
No.
Oh, no?
No, it doesn't ever mean that.
Oh, yeah.
No.
Has your relationship changed over the last year?
Yeah, of course it has, yeah.
In what way?
Yeah.
He's got we don't see a lot of each other and that every now and again, which is nice.
He's got more paranoid. He thinks that the world's against him.
Yeah, and he's full of shit because I don't think that, so...
Yes, he did.
Take that back and don't start having zillions knocking on my door.
What's,
He knows he's a genius, but he won't admit it.
I will admit I'm a genius. I've been telling everyone forever.
No, you're not. No, you're not.
Radio 1 The Session for a Thursday night. If you're offended by any of the language on tonight's show, turn off. That's our advice.
'Cause it's a bittersweet symphony that's life. Trying to make ends meet, you're a slave to money, then you die. I'll take you down the only road I've ever been down. You know, the one that takes you to the places where all the things meet, yeah. No change I can change, I can